Hey, what's up guys? I hope you're having an amazing day and having a great week. I am Jose Daniel and welcome back to another video. If you're new to the channel, don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss the upcoming videos. I upload a video every week. So today we are going to talk about 10 things you have to consider when you buy your first camera or when you're going to upgrade your camera. The first thing you need to know is what you are going to use your camera. It's going to be for videos, it's going to be for photos, it's going to be for weddings, landscapes, travels, portrait, food photography. That kind of stuff you need to know just to know what are the right settings for your camera. So for example, if you're going to shoot a sport photography, you need to have a really high shutter speed that can be able to shoot as many shots as you want in 1 second, so you don't miss any opportunity in that moment, in that special moment for sport photography. If you're going to use for weddings, commercial, food photography, any other stuff, you don't need that high speed. The other thing you need to know, if you're going to make videos, if you're going to, what type of video you need. If you're going to do vlogs, if you're going to do travel videos, slow motions, for interviews, or what type of videos you are going to make. And then if you buy the camera, before answer those questions, maybe that camera it won't fit in the field you're going to work. The first thing you need to have a look is if the camera have a flip screen. This could be an option for you or not, but for me was that a good thing because I'm going to make some vlogs, I'm going to make videos, photos. Okay guys, the good thing of the flip screen is that we have different options. The first one is to do a self-portrait, or if you want to record yourself, you can just flip the screen and you can see right now I can film myself, I can see what is on frame, how is the exposure, if it's well or not, and I can see as well if I'm in focus or not. The other good thing of that, the flip screen, is that if we are going to take a photo at this height, we can just flip it and we can still see what is in the frame and if it's okay or not, the exposure. The other one is if we are going to film at this height, we can just flip it like this. And the other one is to go on the floor. So you can see we have this option, we can see the screen, you can go to this option as well, and you can see what is on the screen as well. So those are the great things of the flip screen, and then if you want, just close it. The other thing to consider is the quick selection for the photo and video. There are some cameras that have a quick selection between the video and the photo, and this is going to save you a lot of time, and then you won't miss any special moment that you want to record or take a photo really quick in a special moment. You can see here we have two cameras. We have here, let's see this one, the first camera I had. So you can see here we have manual, and then if we want to swap to video, you have to go here completely all the way just to change to video. And then it will take time, and then after all, if you're using too much these options, I'm feeling that it's going to damage at the end the deal. So you can see I'm in photography now, I'm manual, and then if you want to take the video, you just go all the way to the end just to select the video. So it will be great. Some cameras they have like video selection here and then on and off. For example, in this camera here, you can see we have the quick selection for photo and video right here. Just one click and they change for video. You can see right now, for example, we are in video right now, and then if we change, it's going to be photo as well. It's going to be really quick and you will save time just to have a nice shot. If you are filming and you want to take a photo, that will be great. The other option we have here is we see in this camera, we have all the scenes here for portrait, landscapes, macro and sports. We have the video selection, we have automatic, we have P, TV and AV. They are semi-automatic options. And then we have the full manual and we have the AD. So if you see in this other camera, we have the same settings, we have the fully manual, we have the AV, TV and P, the semi-automatic selections, and then we have here the automatic selection, and then we have the scenes here. Instead of having on the deal, we have it here, we just select, and then if we select here on the screen, you can see all the scenes we have, and you just go there and select. The other good option of this camera is that we have here two more options. We have C2 and C1. There are completely customized settings for us. For example, let's say you are shooting a wedding and you have to go indoors and outdoors at the same time. So you will select the C1 for indoors, and then you adjust the shutter speed, the ISO, the aperture, and all the settings. And then you go outdoors and you select the C2, do the settings for outdoors, the ISO, the exposure, and everything else. So when you go in, you just go swap. You have the settings for indoors, and then you swap the other one for settings outdoors. Let's say you are doing a video, you can do one for like 24 frames per second, and then if you want to do a slow motion, you just swap, and then you have your settings for slow motion. And then when we see more in depth of the camera, we can find for photography, we can find the automatic selection or AF selection. Depending on the camera, they have more or less point of focus. If we go to the AF point selection, we have 9 points. So you can go and do automatic, then the camera is going to select whatever they think is best. But if we go manual, we can choose which point we want to. I normally use the middle one, so I know it's going to be the middle of the focus. So I just move the camera, focus, and then move the camera to get the frame. We go select the other camera here. If we go to the AF point, we have different options here. We can select different range of points, and you can notice as well we have more AF points to select the focus point. So the other point we have to go is for the drive modes. The drive modes are different. We have single shots, continuous shots, and then we have the timers for 10 seconds or remote control or 2 seconds. If we consider the continuous shots, is what I explained you before. If you're doing sport photography, some cameras are going to take more photos per second than the other cameras. So you have to consider that depending on what are you looking for. And other cameras, they have different options with the continuous and single shots. As the EOS R from Canon, they have electronic shutter. So when you're taking the photos, it's really silent and it's really quiet. You have to really check if you're taking the photo or not. And the next point is going to be the ISO, and this is going to be for different cameras as well. This is the sensitivity of the sensor, and some cameras can handle a higher ISO than other ones. So this means when you have a low light photography or a video, when you are indoors or at night, and then you need to put up the ISO, you have to consider what are the better options. If we check the ISO in this camera, this one was my first camera. This can handle, if you see here, until 6400 ISO. The ideal ISO for this camera is around 400 and 800. If I start going beyond of that, you're start seeing the grain and noise in the image. So sometimes it will be good to have a sunlight resource or a flash if you're taking photos, because this will help you to get more light and you can use a low ISO. That will be a great option. Other cameras can handle more ISO and you won't see too much noise into the image. And number 5 is the image quality. We all know that all the photos are in JPEG. JPEG? I don't know, JPEG. So we know that is the option for the photos. If you want to take the most of the image to have a really good highlights, good shadows, darks and whites, we have to shoot in RAW format. That is going to be for photography. But some cameras can have a different option for RAW and the quality as well at the side of the photo, and other cameras can have a different option as well for JPEG. So you can shoot with JPEG only, you can shoot with RAW only, or you can shoot with RAW and JPEG as well. So when you're shooting with RAW and JPEG, when you take a photo, this is going to take 2 photos, one with a JPEG format and one with RAW format. What is the difference in RAW and JPEG? Well, the difference is like you taking a food from the microwave or you take all the ingredients to cook. So the JPEG is the food from the microwave. It's already packed, it's already done, so you only need to heat up and that's it. You don't have to play too much around that, you don't have too much options. But when you have all the ingredients to cook, you can play around, you can do it as much as you want, and you can get the most of it. And the next thing we have to consider is the white balance. Before, I wasn't taking too much importance about this, but for my experience, I feel that it's really important to know the white balance. Because normally when we start, we just doing automatic white balance and the camera just select whatever it considers is the best. But sometimes we use, like for example, if we go out, we just use the default settings for the white balance like sunny or cloudy, shades or luminance, and we have other options. But there is some cameras that you actually can set up the temperature of the white balance. you can use it for Kelvin. That is great because you can do it manually, and then you have more control of the white balance and the colors for the videos or photos. For example, sometimes if you don't set up the white balance really well, you can see right now, then it's going to look green, could look magenta, could look yellow, or could look too blue. And then sometimes in post-production you cannot recover all the information properly. When you're recording, you have to set up as much accurate you can for the white balance, and that is the reason that sometimes we use color cards or white balance cards, and that is going to help us to have a more accurate colors and the whites and the grays. If you want to know more about the white balance, let me know in the comments and hit the thumbs up so I can know if you really want to see that tutorial. The next point is going to be more about and specific to videos, so you have to really know what kind of videos you are going to record. If you're going to do, like for example I'm doing right now, just speaking to the camera, if you're going to do interviews, if you're going to do action movements like cycling, running, fighting scenes or that kind of stuff, or if you want to have a slow motion. So you have here the link, you can explain you more in depth the frames per second, what are the difference between 24, 30 and 60 frames per second. So for 60 frames per second is for slow motion, beyond of that is going to be super slow motion. 30 frames per second is really normal motion, but then speed a little bit, 20%, and 24 frames per second we normally see in the movies, in series, and every time, and the video I'm recording right now is 24 frames per second. So that is the other question you have to answer, what kind of videos you are going to do, because sometimes the cameras only have until 30 frames per second, and some cameras they have until 60, and other ones have more options for frame per second. And the last thing is the picture profile. I've made a video explaining you a little bit more how to set up the picture profile. This have to be with colors in the camera. It's different as the white balance, because this allows you for the saturation, the contrast, the sharpness, and you can bring up those and get more information for the colors as well. Some cameras, and the majority of the Canon cameras and other ones, they don't have seal locks. The seal locks is the really good because you can have more dynamic range between the highlights and the shadows, and you can get the most open. You can have a look in my video when I explain you more in depth the picture profile and what is the means and how to set up to have a neutral option if you don't have seal locks. But don't worry if you don't have seal locks, because you can still use it and tweak a little bit the picture profile to get the most of the videos and to really pop up those colors, those shadows, highlights, whites, and all the information you have in any video. And we have a bonus tip here, and that is going to be when you want to upgrade and you want to get a new lens, because some cameras they come with crop sensors and other cameras comes with full frame sensor. What is the means? For example, if you have a crop sensor and you have a 35mm lens in the crop sensor, when you take the photo or a video, it's going to look like you're using a 50mm lens in a full frame sensor. That is the difference of that. And then the difference for a full frame, you can get more information, more light into the sensor, and it's going to handle better in low light situation. But if you get a crop sensor camera, that is going to use, for example, in Canon, that is going to use a EF-S lens, and that lens you cannot use it for full frame sensors, but you can use for a crop camera sensor the EF-S and EF lenses into the crop sensor camera. I don't know if it's a little confused, but I can just put here some text and then you can get a better idea. So if you have a full frame sensor, the type of the lenses for the full frame cameras is going to be EF lens. The tip here, the bonus, is if you have a crop sensor, if you want to buy a new lens, consider to buy a EF lens instead of buying a EF-S lens, because the EF lens you can use it for different cameras. You can use it for cinema cameras in the Red, Canon, sometimes in the Sony as well with the adapter. You can use it for mirrorless cameras with the Canon with adapter as well. So you have more options, but if you buy a EF-S camera lens, it's going to be more limited for the use of that lens. Maybe you can use it for other cameras, but you won't have too much options. So that is the bonus tips here. So that's it for today, guys. I hope you like this video. Leave your comment below. Let me know if you want to get more information about it. I have made other videos where I explain the picture profiles, the frames per seconds of the camera, the shutter speed, the aperture, other things. Just leave here in the link for the playlist. If you have any questions, just let me know. I can help you to get your first camera, and also I can help you to, if you're going to upgrade your camera, I can give you more information about it. So you can find in the description below some cameras that I consider are good for beginners depending of the budget, and I was considering the things we were talking about today. The 10 things you have to consider when you buy a first camera. So that's it for today, guys. I hope you like this video. Hit the like button, leave your comment below, don't forget to subscribe, and see you guys in the next video. Peace! Hola, hermano.